lot of people said that if you are a beginner to mirrorless photography or cameras in general, then you should just stick to the kit lens as your starting lens. From there, take tons of pictures and try to analyze which focal length you gravitate to. Or if you really want to upgrade, you can go get the 2.8 zooms or consider the Fuji front primes if you want to take the prime route. However, I had a different idea in mind when I started. When I bought the Fuji X-T5, I had an unpopular and interesting choice as my first lens. Was it a wrong decision? From my experience, it was not. The lens that I bought served a specific purpose in mind, which is I want to take our portrait and travel pictures to the next level. So here in this video, I will share with you the 4 reasons and clues as to why I chose this lens as my first lens, and would I recommend it to be your first lens as well. First one is that it complements my iPhone. So coming off from the iPhone 14 Pro Max, the iPhone can shoot 48 megapixel on a 24mm focal range, which is considered a wide-angle lens. However, if you use the telephoto lens in your iPhone, or at least in mine, it would only shoot at a 12 megapixel 77mm focal range at an f2.8 aperture. For social media, honestly, I think this is okay. You can get by with it given that you have perfect framing or if you have ample amount of light. But it's a different story once we go into a low light situation. Since my iPhone is capable of taking great wide pictures already, and again, in general, with good lighting, I wanted a variety. I wanted a lens that would complement it, which should be on the medium or on the telephoto range, and it should be good for low light as well. After watching tons of YouTube videos, I learned about the favorite focal range for portrait photography and what it is equivalent to of Fuji. Second one would be background blur. My partner and I do a lot of date nights, and that's when we usually take photos of each other. With ample light, we can just use the iPhone, but if we really want that creamy bokeh or background blur, then that's where the f1.2 comes in. Same thing in our beach travel photos. I have only used the Canon R50 with a nifty 50 lens. So that's the 80mm full frame look because Canon has a 1.6 crop at f1.8. And even just using that, I can really say that we pop out because the background just melts with this lens. One more if we use the f1.2, right? The third one would be sports photography. So my partner and I love playing volleyball, and we normally do indoor or play at night in a court, which has lower ambient lighting. Using this lens helped me a lot because it is one of the fastest lens by Fuji, and it is only beaten by the 50mm f1.0 lens. So this lens helps me get in focused, not blurred shots at low light and in great detail. So my setting is usually up to ISO 6400 at 1K to 2K shutter speed to really freeze the frame. Don't get me wrong though, I still get out of focus shots whenever I do continuous burst, but that is an issue with the X-T5 and not this lens. Last but not the least, or the fourth reason, is the intended use for professional portrait photography. As I mentioned in my previous video, I knew that I wanted to also become a professional photographer soon, and what I had in mind then were the studio shots. After watching YouTube videos, this was the top lens choice of professional portrait photographers, as this focal length really flatters the subject's face even more. The effect of this short telephoto lens, or telephoto lenses in general, is that it slims the face of the subject and avoids distortion of any sort. And that's why most of the professional work is done with this lens. Now, what is this lens? Now, with those 4 reasons and clues given, can you guess what is the lens I'm talking about? So obviously, if you are a Fuji fanboy like me, it is the Fuji XF 56mm f1.2 RWR, or simply the Mark II version. So this is the very first lens I got for Fuji, and honestly, it kind of felt weird because again, my experience was coming off from just using iPhones. But after a couple of days of using it, I got used to it eventually. Now, what was my experience using it real life? And after using it for quite some time, I did mention that this is the first lens that I bought for Fuji. So, how did my habit change upon getting this? Well, I have been bringing the X-T5 plus this lens every time we go out. Whenever we wanted to take pictures and we know that we can freely move or there's enough space, then automatically we use this camera. However, if we are in a tight space, say on a restaurant or any crowded space in general, we just use our iPhone. So, lastly, would I recommend this lens as your first prime lens? I would not recommend it, honestly. And the reason for that one is because, again, this focal length is too tight for everyday use. I would rather have you be on the safe side or take the safe route, which is either to just use the kit lens that comes with your camera, or go get some zooms if you prefer the zooms, or if you prefer the primes, you could get the 18, 23, and the 33mm. Given that, do I think it's the wrong decision or do I regret it? My answer is no, but would I recommend it for you? Maybe not. Okay, so if you find this video useful to you, and if you could relate to this video, I would appreciate it if you could click on the like, subscribe, and hit that notification icon. And I would also like to find out what was your first lens, and do you agree with me to not choose this lens as your first prime lens? Let me know in the comments down below. Lastly, if you want to know what is my absolute favorite or what is my workhorse lens, then please click on the link above on this video. Thank you, everyone.